Hello everyone, and a Happy New Year to you all from Newcastle Unitarians. This is our first service of 2021, led by Louise van Hoeven on the subject of time. This is Louise's address, exploring the turning of the year and journeying into light after the winter time, and also looking at how we view this complex thing called time, how we developed our sense of time and our calendar, and how this viewpoint informs and guides us. We hope you find it thought-provoking as we enter into a new year.
So this time last year, I had just made a New Year's resolution that I would get out more and socialise more. So after this last year that we've had, I'm not taking anything for granted and not making any great sweeping plans for the year ahead. But all around the world, the new year is celebrated as a new start and is welcomed in with fanfare. Yet really, the new year is nothing more than a date in which we turn to a new diary or calendar. The true turning of the year for me is the winter solstice, when we contemplate our journey into darker nights and start our journey again into light, despite the fact that the worst winter weather will still be ahead of us. On the 1st of January, there is no objective change in the world, but it is a shared psychological one, a watershed in our lives. The way we regard time in the Western world is a product of the Enlightenment. The Enlightenment, of course, was a great leap forward in science and philosophy, but old ways were left behind, and we suddenly found ourselves in a rational, mechanical world with profound implications for all areas of life, not least in our relationship with the spiritual and with the natural world. The Newtonian concept of time was absorbed as an almost concrete in a landscape that we were all still familiar with today, leaving us ruled by the calendar and the linear march from past to present via a very fleeting present. Add to this the effects of the Industrial Revolution and the tyranny of clock time, where time was money, and we have the constant moral imperative not to waste time, and where our lives are broken down into units by which we regiment our days. Our worldview is of course still very much frameworked by this Newtonian time, to the extent that we would rarely reflect that this view is a human construct. But now modern physics is moving away from this model and revealing that time may be much more complex and fluid than we have previously understood. Of course, in our society, we do need this model of time in order to function in the day-to-day. We need to quantify time and motion, and we need to coordinate with each other in our busy computerized world. This standardization is such an accepted necessity that we can forget that it was only a few generations ago that even within this country, different localities had their own time set by the hours of sunrise and sunset, and it was only the coming of the railway that necessitated the coordination of these into a single zone to allow for accurate timetables, splitting our clock time from any lived experience of the day. Of course, we are all bound by what we experience of the passage of time, whatever we may speculate about the nature of time. We age, we decline, we suffer loss and joy along the way. I heard an interesting quote the other day, which was attributed to Bob Marley. The quote said, "The happy memories of today are the sad memories of tomorrow." The relentless march of linear time takes us further away from our happy memories and our lost loved ones into the melancholy of nostalgia. I wonder if our linear concept of time is actually quite harsh, and I try to imagine how it would feel to exist in the dreaming, as we heard in our earlier reading. To have a much more meaning-centered order of time sounds to me a lot more comforting and grounding, where vertical time is included in the everyday. We heard earlier from Gary Eberle that in our modern worldview there is a sharp division between the horizontal time of schedules and the vertical time of the sacred and of eternity. The value placed on horizontal time and our organisational dependence on it means that vertical time can often fall by the wayside. The rituals and Sabbaths and festivals of the old days have lost their place in our society and are hard to make time for. But although they can feel that they are, worldviews are not set in stone. In this age of climate crisis, we are asking profound questions of ourselves about how we live together on Earth, and at the same time, science is taking us away from long-held Newtonian certainties. Perhaps these things happening together can give us hope. The old mechanistic view of the world has served us well, but its arrival put us in awe of the ingenuity of humans. What little I understand of modern science today, it seems to be reintroducing us to the awe of the universe and nature. I wonder how long our current worldview will survive, and if something that serves us better emotionally and spiritually will replace it. Something that will serve better the new post-industrial world that we need to create. The actual nature of time has been a riddle for the philosopher and the mystic for thousands of years. And it also seems now that such riddles are making philosophers and mystics of the scientists, and the Enlightenment's divide between the sacred and the profane is becoming more permeable the more we learn. All these things aside, just individuals getting on with our daily lives, let's remember that we are immersed, surrounded, and guided by this thing we call time. Whatever we do, we are always immersed in this great mystery.